Loneliness. Everyone knows the feeling. Even in a crowded room, you can feel isolated. From the beginning of creation, God declared, "It is not good for man to be alone." Since Eve and Adam took from the tree of the knowledge of good and evil, mankind has felt the sting of separation from God, from one another, and from themselves. Many of the things Jesus asks us to do, he asks us to do together. Almost no one takes issue with the most obvious of these commands. Love one another. Encourage one another. Comfort one another. But not all of Jesus' commands are as welcomed by society with open arms. Forgive one another. Confess your faults to one another. Don't grumble against each other. Often society rewards us by how much we achieve on our own. Be the best athlete, greatest performer, the most popular parent. With a reward system like this, a message about community is easily lost in translation. Community done right isn't a natural thing. It takes work, it takes vulnerability, it takes patience, and most importantly, it takes listening to Jesus and to each other. Our Christian community here on earth is just a shadow of what's to come. And our valiant efforts to walk in community this side of heaven are a pale echo of God's original intent. But someday we'll come to discover that real community is synchronized with the heartbeat of our Creator, and all of us can lean into the heart of Jesus by leaning into the community he has put around us. As Jesus said clearly on his last night on earth, "By this everyone will know that you are my disciples if you love one another." In the beginning, God scooped up the soil of the world he had just created and formed a single man. From that man, a woman emerged. A woman who would give birth to the billions of individuals who have all walked upon the very soil they sprang from. And then, another man was sent. One who would cast light into the shadows where back-breaking work, painful labor, bruised heels, and broken hearts lie in wait for us. John tells us we love it all because he first loved us. And today, Jesus is still loving his first love. He's still tying up loose ends, still mending torn nets, still reversing the polarity of the gravity of man that pushes individuals made in his image further and further apart. It was God who created us. It is Jesus who still demonstrates God's motive. It is through his life on earth that we discover that we were formed to find each other, knitted together to gather together, blessed to become one people forever engaging in guilt-free, performance-free relationships. And it is through the death and resurrection of his Son that the Creator of the universe has destined each and every one of us to take our rightful place in the community that we were created for.